Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is May 2nd. Right now we are looking at the visible/infrared satellite imagery. You can see the marine layer bumping around Southern California. We'll be burning off as we go through the day today. Pretty typical for this time of year. You can see there are some lenticular clouds across the coastal range, so get your cameras out if you get a shot of that and send me a picture if you would. Looking at the GOES 18 satellite imagery, you can see the nice snow-capped mountains across the Sierra Nevada and some mid and high level clouds elsewhere up across Oregon. But we've got a stronger storm system out over the Pacific Ocean. Let's take a look at that here on the mid-level water vapor loop. You can see this system out here. It's a pretty good one rolling in here. We're going to have some gusty winds, some mountain snow, some rainfall, and even some wave action from the storm system rolling through the area as we go towards this weekend. We're going to dive into those details as we go through the video this morning. So taking a look at Hanford National Weather Service, you can see we are forecasting for some snowfall across the higher terrain, up towards a foot for some of the highest areas. And we've got some decent precipitation amounts rolling in as well, trying to bring some of that rain down to the valley areas and help out the farmers this time of year. Not looking at too much for Bakersfield, but anything helps and better chances the further you go north. So this is the ensemble mean here for the European. This is the average of all 50 ensemble members, and we take the 90th percentile. So this is probably the high end of the extent of precipitation that we can expect. You can see not much across the desert areas or places across southern Arizona as well, and maybe a little bit there for Southern California, but the best amounts further north, some of the coastal range and some of the Sierra Nevada also, and some pretty big amounts there across Northwest California. On the flip side, this is the 10th percentile of all 50 of those ensemble members, and you can see the lesser amounts here, but still doing pretty well here with this system. So pretty high-end stuff coming in here for the Bay Area, looking at probably about a half an inch and at least a third of an inch here if you believe the ensemble members on the European. And taking a look at that, this gives a nice visual representation. This is San Francisco International Airport. This blue bar here is between the 90th and the 10th percentile here, and so likely to get something in between here, which means about 6/10 of an inch towards 9/10 of an inch. This green line is the ensemble mean. It's the average of all 50 ensemble members, and the blue line is the control run, which is the deterministic. It's the initial conditions best we understand them. Each one of these 50 ensemble members has their initial conditions tweaked a little bit to try to correct for any errors we may have in our forecast. And you can see the highest amount here on one of the ensemble members and the lowest amount here up over, close to 4/10 of an inch here. So not bad as far as precipitation is concerned for the Bay Area. Now looking at Sacramento, they are talking about it as well. The unsettled weather returns this weekend. We got some mountain snow rolling in here and isolated thunderstorms. You can see the timing Saturday afternoon and evening, probably the peak time for some of those thunderstorms. So eyes on the sky when thunder roars. Go indoors. Now taking a look at snow depth in inches, let's back this up. And this time of year, we're pretty steady in our losing of the snowpack here, and we're kind of withering it away here until we get towards Saturday morning. And the next system rolls in here and we add to it. So definitely beneficial here across the higher terrain. You can never have too much snow across some of the mountain areas at this time of year going on into early May, and this will definitely be beneficial. Taking a look at the rain returning this weekend, San Francisco, look at that half an inch towards an inch here. Some of the valley areas, the Sierra Nevada, nice amounts rolling in here, and of course better amounts the further you go north, trying to squeeze maybe 2/10 to a half an inch there out of for Monterey and for Big Sur. Looking at the moderate to heavy rain for some of Northwest California also, and you can see Crescent City maybe towards 2 inches here. So yeah, heaviest rainfall expected between 11 p.m. Friday to 11 a.m. Saturday. Now looking at the winds, 80 meters above the surface, and again we've got these strong northwesterly winds. Watch out on the coastal areas and the headlands. Pretty chilly out there when those winds get roaring like that. And you can see we do pick this up as we go through tonight. Some strong winds across the transverse range here, and the Sierra Nevada's turn is coming. And then you can see the northwest winds continuing on. And as we go through Friday night into Saturday, we pick those winds up a bit again here. But then you can kind of see what's coming. You got the southwesterlies emerging as this frontal system drives down the coastline here as we go through early Saturday morning. So at some portion on Saturday morning, we're going to drive that frontal system down across the Bay Area, and look at the winds really kick up as we go through the late morning hours across the Sierra Nevada. Some of the ridge tops and the higher terrain are really going to get ripping here. Some of the desert areas, Nevada, for example, the winds are going to be howling as we go through the day Saturday. Watch out if you are driving a high profile vehicle or one of those big rigs, because the wind is going to be absolutely ripping across portions of Eastern California, Southeast California, Nevada, and then eventually Arizona as we go through Saturday afternoon into Saturday night as that frontal system comes charging down the state. Now taking a look at what the Doppler radar may look like here over the next couple of days. If we put this into motion, you see just a few light showers out there, but then we wait for the next system to arrive. Relatively dry until then. We're going through the day Friday now. This is about 1 p.m. 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. And you can see that frontal system just starting to bring some precipitation to Northern California as we go through Friday evening, and then eventually swooping down across towards the Bay Area. It could get some moderate to heavy rain at times with that frontal system rolling through here. It looks like a bit of a doozy here, especially for early May standards. And then as we go on in through Saturday afternoon, we're going to have thunderstorm potential with this activity here, and just how much of this precipitation we'll get towards Southern California lowlands is kind of yet to be seen. Again, the ensemble members probably showing not much more than 1/10 of an inch right now, but that's subject to change, of course. It's just a forecast. And this is Las Vegas. You can see Saturday and Sunday winds gusting up to 55 miles per hour lingering into Sunday. Nice graphic here from the National Weather Service, Las Vegas. And here's the monthly review. We're going to do this for California next. We can see Las Vegas, they're a little bit below normal, right around normal, we'll just call it here. Precipitation, 0.04 of an inch above normal. So pretty standard average April for Las Vegas. And this shows the entire Southwest. And you can see kind of a mixed bag. Some areas below average, especially across Southern California, and some areas were above for Northern California and Nevada, but Arizona was actually below average for some spots, and some spots substantially so. And this was for the month of April. And if we take a look at precipitation departure from average, once you get to the yellows, that's below average, just slightly so across some of these areas here. And you can kind of see a mixed bag again with some of the central coast, some of the valley areas being slightly above average. Now let's take a look at what's coming up here. This is the one we saw on the mid-level water vapor loop out across the Pacific Ocean. Put this into motion here, and you can clearly see our storm at 500 millibars, 18,000 feet, ripping these strong winds across the area, and that's what's bringing our storm system through here. Then maybe an inside slider system after that. We'll see how that goes and what's to come after. Maybe we'll build a ridge. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. We're still dealing with 144 plus hours out. We'll kind of break that down as we go day by day. Now taking a look at the European model here, and again, this is precipitation, 6 hours, and we're looking at mean sea level pressure. You can see the high out over the Pacific Ocean, the low pressure system right off of Haida Gwaii in western BC here, and then this front comes swooping down the state, and it tries to bring some precipitation for Southern California as well. And again, we'll see how that looks tomorrow. It's going to usher in a fairly chilly air mass here as we go on into the early portion of next week, and we'll see what that next little inside slider system does as we go through next week as well. Now check this out, daily 2-meter max temperature. So you can see pretty warm out there today, a lot of 80s through the valleys. Southern California, you can see the deserts getting into the 90s for some areas as well. And then we go through Friday coming up, and you can still see warm temperatures. Look at Red Bluff and Redding up towards 82, Bakersfield, nice and warm. Some nice days out there. And you can see Death Valley probably up towards 99 degrees or so. But watch what happens as we go from Friday to Saturday. We're looking at a 20-degree drop for many areas, especially areas north. And you're going to feel that chill in the atmosphere, even across a lot of the coastal regions too, and out towards the Bay Area. Big temperature drop as we go from Friday to Saturday. Sunday, we start our slow, arduous climb back up towards the 70s and eventually the 80s as we go through the following week here. But plenty of time to watch that for now. The big story is the huge temperature crashes as we go from a Friday on in through Sunday. Looking at Palm Springs, are you going to feel that cool down here as you go through the weekend? Look at that Sunday temperature. You're looking at 15 degrees colder on Sunday versus some of the previous days there, and then hanging out a little bit below average. The red line is the average temperature for this time of year. Here's Fresno, California. Look at these temperature drops. You're talking about just some mid 60s here when the average high for this time of year is about 83 or so. This is Vacaville, and look at this high on Saturday, the European says is just in the upper 50s, and we're talking about upper 70s usually being the high for this time of year. Red Bluff, California, looking at some precipitation coming in here. We're looking at something similar to what I showed you. This is the ensemble mean here in the green line, and the 90th and the 10th percentiles between this gray bar. Taking a look at Crescent City, obviously Northwest California picking up some decent amounts, calling for about 3 inches by the time you get towards Monday here. So definitely a winter-like storm system rolling through. And Los Angeles, and we're hoping to squeeze maybe 1/10 of an inch, and that's about the extent of what the European ensemble members show. Here's Monterey, California. You can see the green line here showing maybe around 1/2 inch or so as well. And here's the 6 to 10 day precipitation temperature outlook. This goes all the way through May 11th coming up here, and you clearly see the below normal signal here across across much of the west coast of North America. And look at this 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook, kind of a mixed signal here. Got below average across California and some above across Nevada, but we'll be breaking that down day by day. And again, we're probably going to be adding to some of this snowfall here, and we're probably going to get up, above 133% of our historical mean, the median snow water equivalent here for the state of California. But we're doing quite well. You can see we're on the sharp decline here once we get on into May, and by the time we get to June, a lot of years you're not dealing with much snowfall across the higher terrain. Maybe we can hang that on a little bit longer this year. But anyway, we'll continue to watch that storm. We'll look at everything all over again tomorrow, see if we have any chance for some precipitation down into Southern California, because that would be kind of nice to see here. It doesn't look like much for the desert areas or southern Arizona right now, and probably Las Vegas not getting much precipitation out of this as well. But nice amounts across much of the state otherwise, except for some of the valley areas here. We'll see how much we can wring out of that. Maybe we can get some thunderstorm activity in here as well. But anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. We will do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.